What's up, y'all? It's your boy Scrappy and I'm back here with another video today. Today's video is going to be a little different though. I know you guys have all been loving my Bronze and Master series, and by now, 2 months later and 10 legends completed, I have finally finished an entire class with an Apex. And this would be the controller class. I have done Rampart, Caustic, Watson, and Catalyst. And now that I've finished them all, I'm going to rank each one from worst to greatest. And remember, this is strictly for solo queuers out there. But in all honesty, it probably remains true for all you pre-made squads out there. And I think this video is especially important for you guys to watch because nobody in the entire world is doing what I'm doing right now. And while granted, a lot of these YouTube videos may have already been made, 99% of YouTubers out there don't even main these legends. They simply just say whatever they want so they can make some content out of it. I have actually spent a decent amount of time with every single one of these legends. So more or less, I know what I'm talking about. With every ranking, I'll be sure to explain it deeply for you guys to understand, and let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with me. And if you do disagree with me, why don't you give me your rankings then? Either way, let's get into the video. The worst controller class legend out of all 4 legends is going to be, drum roll please, Watson. I know. Don't want to hear it.
Oh, but Scrappy, Lamek happens to be playing her very, very well. Oh, Scrappy, but Watson's played in ALGS. Oh, but Scrappy.
Shut up. Just because a couple people in the world play a certain legend exceedingly well does not add any sort of intrinsic value to said legend. And when it comes to solo queue in this game, there are several things that you have to take into consideration when rating these legends. Revivability, movement or escapability, some form of lethality. Do they have that X factor? Will they help you pick up the slack from your random teammates that will inevitably throw your games? Defense, and so on and so forth. Watson is extremely lacking in every single one of these categories, and she is intentionally designed for pre-made squads who can help build some form of legend comp around her to assist her. And without that, since we're solo queuing here, she becomes very weak. Not to mention, when it comes to her defensive ability, she's by far the worst in the game. Here's what I mean by that. The whole point of these controller legends is to control an area. And most of the time you'll find yourself controlling an area within a building. And within that building, your first line of defense is going to be the doors. That's where you put your Watson fences, Rampart shields, Caustic traps, and Catalyst reinforcements. As soon as that door is destroyed, the enemy now has entry into your building, thus making you more susceptible to gunfire or whatever it may be. And all of these legends have an ability to help stall the enemy from breaking into their building. But some of them do a better job than others, and some of them require the enemy to take more time to break into that building than others. Watson's ability is counterintuitive in this regard. Like I just mentioned, the whole point of these legends is to fortify a building and prevent access into them. The doors are the first line of defense, so why do the fences destroy the doors? This makes it very easy for the enemy to gain access into your building with little to no time wasted. All they have to do is open the door, and the fences will automatically destroy the door, and now you have a perfect LOS on the enemies. In a matter of seconds, the first line defense of that building is destroyed by your own Watson ability. And for all of you guys out there that say she's a movement legend and that she could be used aggressively, just because you W key with a legend does not make them inherently aggressive. And I've mentioned that many times prior. I could sprint at anybody with any legend. Doesn't make them aggressive. And just because Lamek could do it well, he's a 0.001% Watson player. You're not him. Straight up. And I know a lot of you guys aren't gonna like this, but if this means I can take you guys off of Watson and perhaps onto a better legend that would then help you gain more RP in ranked, then so be it. And Watson's okay with taking up space in the wide open, especially during endgames, but as we know for the last several seasons, we haven't really had endgames. I can't tell you how many times where I have 5 squads alive in round 1 in ranked, so that kind of renders that aspect of Watson useless. But that would be the exact reason why she's played at a competitive level. But comp and ranked right now are 2 very different things. Just because a legend is good in comp does not mean they'll be good for ranked or for pubs. Understand that, please. And obviously the best thing about Watson is going to be her ultimate and hitbox, but if that's solely the reason why you're playing Watson, aside from her being a cute French girl, then there are just a lot better legends for you to be playing during your solo queue grind. Watson is weak and needs dire buffs, especially when you have a legend like Catalyst in the same class as Watson. And this is exactly what makes her the weakest legend in the controller class. When it comes to defense and controlling an area, she's by far the worst. The third worst legend in the controller class is going to be Rampart. Rampart, much like Watson, is designed to be played with a pre-made squad that can also form a comp around her. And if you're solo queuing with Rampart, you're not really getting that much out of her. And although she's much better at holding down the fort than Watson is, everything about Rampart is designed to be stationary. And in a high intensity game like Apex, especially currently right now, staying still is going to get you killed. And Rampart once again would thrive the best during endgame scenarios, but we don't have endgames anymore. And maybe this changes with next season's rank system.
Oh, what about the gaming merchant.
Same logic I used as before. I even had one person say that Rampart was a movement legend because you could super glide off of her walls. Are you serious, bruh? And although Rampart's definitely mediocre in the wide open, she does provide a lot more value to her team in the open than Watson. Rampart was especially great for me for third parties, just posting up my fences from afar and just raining down gunfire on two teams that were fighting. And this is something that makes my teammates comfortable as well, since they don't have to risk their lives doing anything. But in order for Rampart to really thrive, you gotta be playing with a couple of your friends that you can communicate with. Sheila was also really fun and a cool counter to Catalyst doors, but I'm sick and tired of you guys talking about how good her ultimate is. Yeah, it's good when used in the right way. You guys are trying to use her ultimate as a last minute SMG up close, and that's why I one clip you guys every time. There's nothing aggressive about Rampart, and there doesn't need to be. She's good at holding down buildings, and she's okay at taking up space in the open. But the fact that you have to run to this area, put your wall down, run to the next area, put your wall down, run to another area, put your wall down, and then wait some more time, that wastes a lot of time in a high intensity, fast paced game like Apex. And there are just better controller class legends for you guys to be playing, especially if you're solo queuing. Which leads me into the second best controller class legend. That's going to be Caustic. Stinky Boy is actually pretty damn effective for solo queuing. He's got lethality with his abilities, he's got a strong defense with his abilities, he's great at taking up space with his abilities, and you can actually use him aggressively. He has an aggressive aspect to him, unlike Watson and unlike Rampart. Watson can't throw her fences at you, Rampart can't throw her walls towards you, but Caustic can throw his traps in your face, and he's got an ultimate that he could launch across the world. So that inherently makes him aggressive. And this is the first legend out of the controller class that is both aggressive and defensive, and does both of them very well. Even with all the nerfs that Caustic has received, teams still have to respect the Caustic within a building, and a good Caustic is going to make your life living hell. And there's just so much playability around Caustic despite whatever legends your randoms may be playing. You can use his traps as cover in the wide open while also using them to take up more space. With his traps you could block off more doorways than you could with just 3 people, so he gives your team less angles to worry about. With a Caustic on your team, your teammates can mess up and that's okay. You have a bunch of traps that are blocking doorways so enemies can't get in, and if they do get in, they have to spend more time destroying the Caustic gas or simply eat it and be slowed and take damage. You have an ultimate that you can use that covers a way larger radius and is great at cutting off LOSs and angles. Caustic simply buys you a lot of time that your random teammates need desperately. If you have a team that needs to be pushed, simply throw your ultimate towards them in an aggressive way, pushing that angle and killing anybody that may be trapped inside of it. There are just so many ways that I could talk about the usefulness of Caustic. The point being is he is very strong and he's a fantastic legend for solo queuing. And so if you're a Rampart main or a Watson main, maybe try playing Caustic. And I guarantee you'll win more RP. And don't even get me started with the fact that he literally takes 15% less damage. Caustic is big, but he's not Gibby big. And I can't tell you how many times that fortified saves your life. Now obviously if you're good with process of elimination, this means that Catalyst is the strongest legend in the controller class, and she is my #1 rank. I just finished my bronze and masters with her a few days ago, and let me tell you, I will give up my #1 Loba title to permanently main Catalyst. She is so strong and has so much usefulness and viability that I became instantly a 10 times better player. I was 1v3ing like absolute crazy with her. Anytime my teammates went down, I knew that since I'm playing Catalyst, I'm still in that fight and I still have a chance. And unlike any other controller class legend, she actually has a way to move in the open. Everybody else is useless in the open and can easily get gunned down on. But because Catalyst has the Great Wall of China as her ultimate, this gives her a different aspect that none of the other legends can touch. Not only is she the strongest controller class legend, she is one of the strongest legends in the entire game. Teams will struggle to get into your building, and she will buy you a lot of time, especially when paired with her tactical. Her ultimate is great for rotations and escape, and can also be used in a very aggressive fashion. And honestly, I cannot recommend her enough for all you solo queuers out there, especially if you're struggling gaining RP. I'm definitely glazing her hella hard, but it's not without reason. Start playing Catalyst now and you'll hit the ranks you want to hit. She does everything very good. That's all I have for you guys for the controller class legends. Again, let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with me, and I would love to hear your refutations. Provide a solid argument back to me if you disagree, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.